Okay, let's just dive in. Welcome, everyone. We're glad you're here joining us today to talk about our new partnership between Verivest and Agora. We're really excited to just go over all the details of how our mutual collaboration is helping create solutions for fund managers and their clients. So we are a real estate focused fund administrator, and Agora is the leading fund management technology platform. So together, we're really excited about all the things that we can do for you as our client. So before we dive in, I just want to remind everyone that you can ask questions at any time by dropping a question into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You don't have to wait until the end. We want to engage with you the entire time. All right, let's dive in. First, I have some introductions to make. So today here with us, we have Matt Burke, who is the founder and CEO of Verivest. And we also have Noah Uruhum. She's the Director of Business Development and Partnerships at Agora. Welcome, Noah and Matt. We're glad you're here with us. Noah,
Thank
why
you.
don't tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. And thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Matt, for inviting me to join you here on this webinar. For those in the audience, my name is Noah. I joined Agora just over a year ago as Director of Business Development and Partnerships. Just a quick bit about my background. Over the past 12 years, I've held several senior go-to-market roles at multinational companies, primarily focusing on market expansion, partnerships, brand marketing. I also have an entrepreneurial background. It's actually a big part of what drew me to Agora in the first place. We are a fast-paced, agile company with, a very strong entrepreneurship at our core. And yes, at Agora, I lead strategic partnerships. Over the past couple of months, I've had the pleasure of working with Matt, with Nicole, and with the wider Verivest team to build out this really impactful and exciting partnership that we'll be talking about today. So very excited, and I hope you'll find the session insightful.
Thanks, Noah. We're glad you're here too. Matt, everyone pretty much knows you, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, so my background is in investment management. I founded a company over 30 years ago that did hard money loans, and over time we did about 11 pooled investment funds. And coming out of the Great Recession, we started doing a lot of advisory work, helping other managers set up, think through, launch their own fund, and that's really what gave rise to our administration business, which started around 2013. We actually built out our own portal for some period of time and tried to do that internally, and eventually decided that, hey, there's other more comprehensive things out in the marketplace. So I think we're better off to partner with others. So I've got a long entrepreneurial background in the real estate, both debt and equity investment management business, and have done a lot of advisory work with other managers around the country, helping them set up their own fund, and then ultimately doing the back office support work for those companies. So that's a bit about my background.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we can dive into today's agenda. So we're going to go over the current fund admin landscape and just how Verivest fits into that picture. We're going to introduce Agora and tell you everything you need to know about Agora. We'll go over some expectations that you can have for our joint partnership. I'll do a short demo for us, and then we'll summarize everything for you. And at the end, we'll dive into a Q&A. Just a reminder, questions can be asked in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Okay, I'll pass it over to Matt now.
Yeah, so I think, as I talked about or alluded to, my background is in fund management. So I think one of the things that differentiates Verivest in the real estate space is that the company was built based on direct experience as a manager. So I understand kind of viscerally the pain points and issues that managers face in the real estate space. And I'd say it's a very specialized product. There's a lot of fund administrators out in the world. Many of them are more involved in VC or private equity, hedge, daily trades, much more liquid stuff. And I'd say real estate is a bit of a side thing for many of them, whereas for us it is front and center and really what we focus on. So got a deep expertise in the real estate space. A lot of advisory work, helping people kind of run their businesses and try to scale. And that has been That's been a big differentiator, and I think that's what people really like about us. In the fund world, kind of back office investor relations, various things that managers need, that's what Verivest really provides. Over the years, we've been very good at that. We tried to build a bit our own technology portal, which we did, and I'd say it was acceptable. But ultimately, as technology kind of got more and more prevalent and people came on the scene, there's a fair number of investor management portals, and we decided at some point that, look, we're better off to focus on what we do best, which is the advisory, the administration, the services side of the business, and find a good partner for the tech side. Kind of that's what led us to that search. We really canvassed the entire market to try to find what we thought was the absolute top drawer best software that we could find, and that's kind of what led us to Agora. So that's really kind of how it came about. We kind of ran into Agora with a lot of mutual clients over and over and over again, started to get to know them. I talked with their CEO Bar a number of times, and then as we had mutual clients, we began to explore. And over the last, I'd say, year and a half, and really over the last 6-8 months, we came to an agreement, and I think it makes sense for us, it makes sense for them, and it really makes sense for our clients, and that's kind of why we entered into this partnership. So yeah, we're super excited about it. It's off and running. It's been great so far, and looking forward, Noah, to seeing everybody. I'll be back in New York here later in October to meet with the team in person, and looking forward to that. So yeah, excited to be partnered with Agora on this venture.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. And we're super excited to see you in our New York office as well. And so I'll give you all a quick brief about Agora, who we are and what we do. Agora was founded in 2019 by Bar, Lior, and Noam, who you're seeing in this photo. They had one very clear mission in mind: to become the most comprehensive investment management platform on the market. Agora is a platform that's built specifically for real estate firms. So we're talking about general partners, operators, owners, syndicators. And it's really designed as an all-in-one solution, a one-stop shop, you can call it, to support the entire investment management lifecycle, automating a lot of those time-consuming manual processes while giving investors a really best-in-class experience. What I can say is that over the past 3 to 4 years, Agora has really grown rapidly. Today, we employ more than 200 professionals across our 5 global offices. Our US headquarters is in Manhattan, New York, where most of our go-to-market team is based. We also have offices in Austin, Texas, in Montreal, in Miami, and very excited to open additional hubs soon. Next slide, please. So just some of the numbers, behind our story. Today on our platform, we manage over $300 billion worth of assets. We have an average of 150,000 LPs, investors, that are logging into their side of the system on a weekly basis. More than 80 billion in contributions and distributions have been processed directly through our platform. We're able to do that. And as for our client base, today we serve over 900 real estate firms. I want to say that about 70 to 80% of them are in the US, firms that are raising both equity or debt. Our clients range really from small syndicators raising their first deal to well-established billion-dollar firms such as Kushner, Fairpoint, Equity Multiple, just to name a few. Next slide, please. So a bit about our product. As I've mentioned earlier, Agora is really designed as an all-in-one solution that supports, the full investment management lifecycle, from fundraising and investor onboarding all the way to ongoing cap table management, reporting, waterfall, and everything that's in between. The system essentially is a two-sided system. It has 2 sides. We have the investor portal, which is the front-facing side that's fully branded with your firm's logo, where your LPs are going to be logging in to view their portfolio, to access documents and reports, to submit requests, and to subscribe to new offerings you're raising capital for. On the back end, we have the admin control panel, what we call the ACP. That's where you, your team, Verivest, who's supporting you, will be operating. From the ACP, you can build new offerings, manage fundraising and onboarding, track your cap table, share reports, do your waterfall calculations, process payments, and so much more. I will pause here since Nicole has a really great demo coming up soon to show you all of this great stuff live. But what I will mention is that as part of this partnership, Verivest will be operating a lot of the system on your behalf, which is really one of the main benefits of having your fund admin working within your platform. And just a quick note about security. We take security very seriously at Agora. We understand that your investment and investor data is highly sensitive, and we have the most secure solution in place. We are fully compliant with SOC 1, SOC 2, ISO, and our platform is hosted on AWS servers.
All right. So as Matt and Noah kind of already detailed, some of the things that you're going to benefit from our joint partnership is that we are both, both of our companies are real estate focused. That's what our bread and butter is. That's our specialization. And so we understand how your business works. We understand the needs of your investors and the problems that you may encounter. And so both of our teams collaborating together, we're going to help you grow and scale and achieve your goals just from the knowledge and background that we have. As Noah said, Agora is a full life cycle fund management platform. So it can help manage top, middle, and bottom of your funnel, your fundraise. All of your data can be hosted on Agora. And then the Verivest team is also going to be working within that platform. So we're going to be helping make sure your data is accurate and maintain your investor data, as well as produce our investor servicing work. So distributions and investor statements directly within that platform. And then because of our joint partnership, you are benefiting from, cost-effective and competitive pricing. And then our joint teams truly are working together to find solutions for you, to onboard you, to support you through the full life cycle of your fund. So we are doing joint onboardings and then working with your customer success manager at Agora to make sure that you're receiving all of the services that you need. And then as your fund grows and scales, Agora can handle pretty much anything that your fund will need. It can handle any fund type. And like I told you, there are features and solutions for top, middle, and bottom of the funnel, growing your investor base. And then Verivest, as your fund starts to need more, as it starts to grow, we have ancillary services. So as you need more from your fund administrator, we have the services that you can add on to service your growing needs. All right, I'm going to share my screen in just a moment, and we're going to start in the investor side of things. All right. So because there's so many features on Agora, we're going to kind of focus on investor fundraising workflows. So on the investor side, how they're going to make their investment. And then on the manager side, we're going to kind of show you some of the tools that you have to support your active fundraise. So if you want to know more about Agora or see a more in-depth demo, you can always reach out and we're happy to give you a more in-depth demo. But first, we're starting in the fundraising side of Agora. So these are just some options, some samples of what your data room can look like. And I'm going to show you what one of those looks like right now. So as an investor, as an investor, when you are clicking into a data room, you can see all of this information that's presented about your fund. All of this is customizable. You can add or take away from what's added here. And the Verivest team is building this out for you. So we're setting up your offering. We're making sure that your smart questionnaire and subscription documents are set up for investors to make their investment. So we're working with you to make sure the metrics that you want displayed to your investors in the data room are set up. So you can see that you can add images, you can add high-level metrics, an overview of the offering, including documents you want investors to read. You can even attach a video if you want investors to see a video. and then a map if that's applicable. If you don't want something to show, it won't show. It's completely customizable. So you can see there's a banner here that says subscription in process. So if your investors have started a subscription but have not completed it, they'll see a notification when they click invest now to complete their investment, and they would just click continue, and it kind of drop them off on the last place that they left off with their subscription agreement, and it will just help them complete that more quickly. It will also show them a list of all the other completed investments they have. If you have a brand new investor and they don't have any of this, it would just click show create new, wouldn't show any of this. And then if they have invested with you before, you will see a selection, or they will see a selection of all of the profiles they have available to make an investment from. If they've never invested with you or they want to create a new entity, all they do is have to type their entity name and then select the entity type and click create, and they're off to the races. They can start investing with you. It's really simple. So for our purposes, I'm just going to create select an account I've already created. And because I've invested in this fund before, it's already defaulting to a payment type that I've selected before. But you actually do have some options here. So Agora does have an integration with Plaid where your investors can connect their Plaid account to like their investor portal, and then they can receive distributions directly from the Agora system once distributions are set up by the Verivest team. Or they can still set up a manual distribution option such as ACH or check, and then the Verivest team will give you a Nacha file to make those payments. You don't have to choose either or, you can have both options, it's up to you. But just so you know that there are multiple options available for making distributions directly within Agora. So I'm going to select check. I'm going to select my investment amount. If your investor selected under the minimum, it will not stop the process, but it will send you a notification and ask you if you want to accept that investment. So this is just a sample acknowledgements page. You can also customize this page as well. So you can add or take away or change some of the language. This is just an example. So I'm going to select all of my acknowledgements. And then because I've invested before, the invest flow is connected with the CRM. So it's pulling information from my account that's contained in the CRM on the admin control panel side. And it's just asking me to confirm if this information is still accurate. If anything needed to be changed, I would make updates and then click next. But if an investor has never invested before, they'll just need to enter in their tax ID number, select the type and their address, and that's it. I know they don't have to have their entity documents in front of them and like enter in a bunch of complex information. It's pretty simple. All right, so now they can start what is called the SMART questionnaire on Agora. And this is just a sample of what questions can look like. It really is customized to your subscription agreement. And so it's matching, you know, it's pulling information from the CRM directly onto their subscription document, but it's also asking them questions based on their profile type. So if you have questions that only apply to entity investors, it's going to send them through the pathway that applies to their investment type. So they don't have to look through the document. I'll click preview document just so you can see what I'm talking about here. They don't have to look through this document and see what needs to be filled out and be confused by some of the legal language. It really simplifies what the questions are asking, and then they just have to select from an option. It's really great. So while these questions are just an example questions, it would be questions specific to your subscription agreement if this was set up for your investors. So I'm just going to make some selections here. All right, so now I can click sign now. It's just asking me to confirm some information. And now there's an integration with Dropbox Sign. So now the information that the investors filled out on the SMART questionnaire is transferred over to the subscription document. And then they just need to review and sign. So it's really easy. There's no confusion. So you can see some of that information that I've already filled out is on the document. So I'm going to click get started. This one does have an initial field, but then they would click next. They can click to sign, they can type or upload a signature if they prefer, and then they insert everywhere, click continue. And now here is where they can just review and sign and make sure that everything they filled out was accurate. So you can see that it's all the things that I answered are on this document. If they needed to make any edits, they would just click edit and they can update any answers on the document itself. Once they click agree, it goes over to the manager to countersign and they're done. They'll get a prompt to finish. And then this screen with wire instructions is customized. You don't have to have this information. You can have a different message. You can have different text here. This is just an example, but it's really, really easy. The invest flow is so quick for investors, and I have helped hundreds of investors onboard, and it's definitely the most simple workflow that I have ever had to do with an investor. So it's really great. All right, now I'm going to jump over to the admin control panel side. Much like Noah was describing, it does have features, such as a true CRM. It has an entire dashboard for you to manage and outreach to your investors, but there's so many features, we can't cover them all here. So I'm just going to go over some of the things that you can do to manage your active fundraisers. So you can see here, there's an offerings tab, and you can see all of the active fundraisers this company has. And they can see high level, how much progress they've made on their fundraise goals. They can see how many active prospects they have, just some high level fund information. Then they can click in and dive into more detail here. So they can see all of their active prospects. And then you'll notice these tabs have different statuses, and these are directly connected to the invest flow that we just saw on the investor portal side. So you can see investors as they're making progress through the entire invest flow all the way to when you need to countersign. And once you need to countersign, you do get an email notification prompting you to sign. You don't have to be in this portal all day managing the investors as they're completing their documents, but it is easy to see everything in one place. And one of the nice things about Agora is that you can communicate directly with investors from within the screen. So if you're noticing somebody is getting stuck, you can send them an invite to the subscription. You can send them an email and ask them questions. You can manage their entire pledge directly from this screen. So if you know some of their account information, you can actually pre-fill it for them, and then they can just review and sign their subscription document. So it's really easy. You have control over the entire process, and you can prompt your investors along. So it just kind of helps you manage that workflow and make it simple for investors to essentially subscribe to your fund. There are even features within here where you can create a public facing brochure. So if you want to collect leads and have this connected onto your website and have investors click on a public facing brochure, it will collect that lead and capture it in the CRM for you. And then you can approve them and add them as a prospect. So there are different ways that you can market your fund directly within the system. It's really great. So there's so much more features to show you guys, but I can just do a more customized demo. If you have more questions, we're going to just jump back into the presentation now. All right. So I want to summarize some of the things that some of the benefits that you'll get from our joint partnership. You are going to be benefiting from personalized product demos, where the Verivest team deeply understands just how your business workflows are, and we are tailoring our demos to those workflows and the pain points that you're experiencing to make sure that not only are we finding solutions for you on your fund administration side, but that we're finding solutions for you on the Agora platform and working with their team to make sure that you're fully utilizing the product in a way that makes sense for you and your investors. And then you are receiving the benefit of both of our deep expertise in real estate. So like we've said this entire webinar, that is our bread and butter. That is our entire focus. we want to become part of your daily operations, both on the platform side and the real estate fund administration side, to help you achieve your goals and grow and scale your business. And then you are benefiting from discounted fees, a tailored proposal and contracting process between our two teams. We truly are working together throughout the entire process, including a collaborative onboarding process where we're working with both the Agora CSM team and their onboarding team to make sure that your investors are getting the benefit of that seamless process. So if you're experiencing any workflow issues, we're working together to find solutions and make sure that this is as smooth as possible and that you can just focus on your fundraise and managing your fund. All right, now we can dive into some of the questions that you guys have. Let me see. Pull up those questions in just a moment. Okay. Says, first question is, can you integrate with Salesforce? And if so, how? So there isn't a direct integration, but there is a connection that we can help via Zapier. So we can work with the Agora team to help find a solution there. Someone else asked if this can be used across custodians. Are you meaning, can custodians also like access investor accounts on this on Agora as well? If that's what you're meaning, yes, custodians can be given access to investor accounts. They can help manage, signing subscription documents, viewing all of the things that investors can see in order to keep their information updated about the investors' capital account balance and transactions. Okay, it looks like we have another question saying, can we share more about the transition of the portal and the rollout for existing Verivest clients? Yes, we can. So essentially what we're doing is we're reaching out to all of our clients individually and scheduling a customized demo for you so that you can see Agora and that we're targeting them to your specific workflow and needs. And then once you have moved forward with Agora, then the Verivest team is managing the entire migration of your data in conjunction with the Agora onboarding team to populate all of your information to be uploaded into Agora. So we're pulling down all the information from our portal, providing it to Agora. We're QAing all of that data, both on the template that's going to be uploaded as well as in Agora. And then we will build out, if you have any deals that are actively fundraising, we're building those out for you within the platform. And then once you sign off and say it looks good, then we are helping to bulk invite your investors. So we're involved at every stage of that migration along with Agora. They're helping along the entire time as well.
I'll also add that we have, as Nicole mentioned before, we have a dedicated task force at Agora that is working hand in hand with Nicole and her team to really make sure that the transition is as smooth as it can be. Each one of our Agora Verivest clients, joint clients, will have a dedicated onboarding specialist, a dedicated customer success manager, working alongside the Verivest team to make sure that you're fully supported in this process.
Exactly. Thanks, Noah. Someone asked how long the rollout will take. We already have clients on Agora and using Agora, and we're already working within that system. So for how long the migration will take for your specific company, it really just depends on how complex your data is, how many years of information you have within the Verivest system, but it is fairly quick for most clients. So just a few weeks. But it really just depends on each client individually. All right, there's another question about, will current Verivest or Agora clients experience any changes in service or support? The answer is no. You will not see any changes in service or support from the Verivest portal over to Agora. You will be receiving all the same support, but even more, because you'll have the Verivest or the Agora team working with you as well and supporting you on the technology side. So Verivest will still be producing all of our work directly within Agora. So we'll be doing distributions, capital account. We'll be maintaining all of the investor capital account balances, allocations of income, all the things that we currently do within the Verivest portal, as well as we're going to be generating statements and building those out with you on Agora. And the benefit of using Agora for that is statements can be entirely customized. So you have even more options there. So you're not going to see any service level, loss of service level. You're going to see even more than you do currently. All right, are there any other questions? Okay, great. We just want to thank you guys for your time. If you have any questions, you'll see contact information directly on your screen. I want to thank both Matt and Noah for joining us today for this conversation. Really appreciate you guys joining us. If you want to know more about our fund administration services or Agora, to reach out to us directly, you can visit our website, sign up for our newsletter, or follow Matt, Noah, or myself on LinkedIn. And just want to thank you all for joining us today. I hope you have a good day.